सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो शान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। The series of talks have been on the goal of life. The ultimate goal pointed out by our scriptures is discovery of inherent joy, happiness, independent of who you are, what you are, where you are, because it is something which is already there. It is not something to be obtained from anywhere else. And presently, we are not able to abide in that or able to stay in that state of bliss because of our self-forgetfulness. We have forgotten our own true nature, real I, and we are so busy with the false I. Therefore, it's called realization. Realizing what is the real I. And this false I, by nature, F-A-L-S-E also, F-A-L-L-S also. False. Because it is false. It is being not true. And that which is not true but appears to be real. This is the nature of this whole world, including our own so-called personality which we are so tightly holding on to. And the world only knows us in that false way. Nobody except you knows who you are, really. And if at all you will find a guru, a true Sadguru, not sad guru, a person who recognizes that your seeking is for your own real identity, he or she alone can direct you to that. and takes no credit for that. Because it is not something he gives to you. He only directs and shows this is the way to go. Therefore, they are called Upadeshakaha. Upadeshakaha means those who are giving Upadesha. Upa samipe stitva dishati. Staying closer to you and shows. It's called Upadesha. And such a guidance, if one gets in life, that is considered as the greatest blessings. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, being born as a human in itself is a great blessing. Having the desire to find this is second blessing. And having someone to guide you is the greatest blessing. And in our Hindu tradition, the 4 stages are given. The stage of brahmacharya is where one gets prepared for this journey. And that requires you to understand the need for purifying the mind. Because by birth we are all prakrita janaha. Prakrita janaha means common man who does not have higher aspirations. We have our animal tendencies naturally available to us, and unless we are subject to purification, we behave only like animals. So this purificatory process is essential, necessary. So brahmacharya is a stage, not just study, but it's a purification also. And the study also purifies. Not the university study. University education, does it purify you? Study of medicine or study of law, study of journalism, study of anything else does not purify our mind. Does it? So studying about the matter does not purify the mind. So brahmacharya is a stage where an individual exclusively pays attention to purify the mind. And that is why the qualifications are given: viveka, vairagya, shama, dhamma, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhana, and mumukshutvam. They are called adhikari lakshanani. The qualification traits of a qualified student. Then invariably, because being a human living in a human society, it is said that one would engage in the next step called grihastha-ashrama. And the grihastha-ashrama is not for just emotional satisfaction, physical satisfaction. It is meant for doing dharma. For as a grihastha, one has the access to the resources. And these resources are to share with the rest of the people, whatever be the profession that you undertake, or have it as your career, so to say. And you, with the resources that you have gained, not only you must take care of you and your family, but help the world around. Especially grihasthas are responsible for maintaining and encouraging brahmacharya ashram. That is our tradition. That's why the Taittiriya Upanishad said, Prajatantum ma vyavachesi. The lineage of your family leading to you to become a parent and creating the next generation with nobility and character. So that is considered as the second stage of a Hindu. Why I am talking about it is when you ask somebody else who is a Hindu, no clue. Are you a practicing Hindu? Many people have no answer to that. So be Hindu means behind you. Whatever you say, just follow that. And that's like sheep following. That is not Sanatana Dharma. You must understand, one must understand what it means. The next stage is where you, having completed your worldly responsibilities of educating your children, giving them character, giving them noble goals to work on, then one must allow things to happen. With your children, don't go after them. Maneprasthanam. Resting and giving time to upasanas. Intensifying your spiritual quest. And then, once that spiritual mind has been developed, purity is gained, and one-pointedness is also achieved, then one is ready for the fourth stage, is called sannyasa. Bhagavan Krishna here brings that point in the 5th chapter. It is called karma sannyasa yoga. First thing he says, I will define who is a sannyasi. Nyeyasa nitya sannyasi. Yo na dveshti na kankshati. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. Nyeya. What is to be known? Who is that? What is sannyasa? Many people think sannyasa is where you give up everything. Walk away. One lady frantically called her father and said, my husband threatens me all the time that he is going to take sannyas. What does he do? He says that I am going to take up sannyas, and whenever he is angry, he does that. And he packs up his bags. When the father, wiser than her, said, if he's packing up a bag, he's not taking sannyas. See, non-possessiveness is sannyasa. Not possessing. Okay, let me ask this question. What did you bring into this world when you are born? What are you going to take when you are dead? Nothing. You brought nothing, you are going to take nothing. That is sannyas. Knowing nothing belongs to me. Neither I brought anything, nor I take anything. Right? One person told his wife, I am about to die. So, all that money that I have earned in this life, put it under my bed. No, he said, put it in the first floor, above, second floor. So when I'm going up, I'll pick it up and go. She was very sincere. They said, okay. And she put it on the top of the other floor. Next day he died, and she was very curious. Did he take it? Obviously, it was all intact. She cried. So her friend came, why are you crying? He wanted to take. Thinking that he's going up, I should have put it under the bed. It's not going up, it's going down only. We are not going to take anything. What you are going to take, all of us, is our mind. Not the body. Now tell me, what is your mind right now is what you are going to take. Bhagavan also says, at the time of death, if you don't remember me, because whatever be the state of mind at that time is what you are going to be later. Last minute of your life, what you are going to remember is what you are going to be. Because he says, yo yash shraddha sa eva saha. Whatever one believes is what is going to be there at the top of his mind all the time, even while dying. And that's what he will be or she will be. Of course, the soul has he, she, nothing there. This physical body has the feature of women or men, but the soul, the subtle body, has no such gender. He, she, they, the same only. So, this understanding that I brought nothing, I take nothing from here, is what is called non-possessiveness. Since he did not bring anything into this world, nor does he take anything from the world, while dealing in this world also, the thought should be constantly there, this does not belong to me. I may use it. I may make best use of that. This physical body also given to me by my parents, and at the end of it, this I am going to discard. I should make best use of this physical body as an equipment, not overindulge in that or thinking only about that. This is an instrument through which I operate. So let us make best use of this for the world, for doing something good. Also, anything that so-called things that I have owned up in this world, maybe house or car, business, people, relationship, name, qualification, knowledge, wisdom, experience, all these are all came on the way, about which there cannot be any likes or dislikes. Therefore, such a person who has this correct understanding is a sannyasi. This is such a definition you would not find in Upanishad at all. Bhagavan Krishna's unique way of thinking. Therefore, he says, Saha Nitya Sannyasi. Not the one who has just taken up the ochre-colored cloth. Just because you are wearing a cloth color does not mean that you are that. If you wear a white coat, do you become a doctor? Yeah. Or if you are a doctor and not wearing a white coat, would you fail to be a doctor? Tell me. This white coat, when you wear and walk around, people recognize you as a doctor. That is all it is. If you're wearing the dress of a cop, you become a cop then. Just because one is wearing this cloth does not mean one is sannyasi. And such people are, I call them roadside Romeos. In the name of sannyasa, they possess the most. They are so much attached to their own name, their own form. And such people, even when they talk about sannyasa, they don't mean it. Because they don't live it. Bhagavan very clearly says, Yaha na dveshti na kankshati. He doesn't dveshti, he doesn't hate anything, nor does he seek anything in this world. Such a person is a sannyasi. For he knows nothing is mine. When nothing is yours, what do you renounce? Tell me. Renunciation of things is only when you own it. When I don't own anything, how will I renounce? I come to your home and take a few things from your home and give it to somebody. Can I do it? Will you spare me? I take it from your home and then I'll call your neighbors and come on, you want to take this. Meaning, I exaggerated the idea. Meaning, nothing I own, therefore, who am I to renounce? So who is the Nitya Sannyasi then? One who knows I own nothing. And if I own nothing, if I do not have a possessiveness of things, then those things will trouble me. Whether they are there or not. One man got up in the middle of the night, startled, and he realized that the next building that he owned is on fire. It's just picking up. Fire was picking up. It was an empty house, no doubt. He owned it. So it was picking up fire. He got so agitated. Immediately he called his sons. Hey, come on, get up. Call the fire brigade. Let us take some water and then throw it before they come. Come on, get up. And then he had 3 sons. 2 of them got up and they started to help the father. And all of them started to work. And he woke up his wife also. And then everybody started. And one of the boys was just watching there, doing nothing. He says, what is wrong with you? Come on, help. Daddy, please listen to me. What is that to listen? Don't you see the fire there? Yes. Then why don't you help? No, I want to talk to you about something. At this time? No, just listen to me. Yes. Just last week you sold that house. Yes. Let us go to sleep. Now that agitation is because of the notion, this is mine. Once in your own mind that knowledge takes place, this is not mine, not that he would not go and put off the fire, he will do, but not with agitation. Not with agitation. Why? It's not mine. So when you come to this ashram, and there is a leak, will you bother about it at all? Mera nahi hai na. Okay. So the moment you give up the ownership, mind is not disturbed. Though you may do it, you may repair it or you may, but not with agitation. You want to go and buy a car and you go to this showroom. And you selected one particular car. Very nice sports car, big money wasted. It's called BMW. You like that car. So you started to negotiate about the price. And you are standing next to the car and you're looking at it, took a picture of that also. Send it by WhatsApp to your wife. Oh, and she was already there, so to your friend. This is what I want to buy. I'm just negotiating the price with this guy. At the same time, another person, who's another customer, he comes and opens the door of the car to check what it is. Hey, don't touch it. And that fellow says, why? Doesn't mind. And when did it become yours? You didn't even sign a paper, not even paid a penny. Thought. Isn't it? The moment you have a notion, this is mine, ahankar. Ahankarasya vigneya. Vigneya, not vigneya. Ahankarasya vigneya. Tadatmena hi jayate. Of the nature of mindness. What is ego? Mindness. Not minus. Mindness. And anything that you have the idea mine is possessiveness. One man said, me and my wife, we both were so happy for 25 years and then we got married. Not many of you laughing for that, I don't know. See, she was growing up happily as a daughter of someone. I was growing up happily as a son of somebody. Then we met. Then what happened? Huh? So when did the idea as this is mine happen? Is it that when you say my wife, are you putting a, some kind of a favicol or somebody attached? I am attached to my wife. What does it mean? Physically are you attached? Is it not a mental association? So all these association, possessiveness, ego, identification are none other than notion of mind, and this continuously going on. When the thoughts repeat continuously, that becomes attachment. Jayato vishayan pumsaha sangaha teshu upajayate. Isn't it? When did the Sangha association takes place? When the thoughts are repeated again and again. Mind, 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 mind. So when you give a gift also to someone, let us say I give a gift to you or you gave a gift to me. And when I took the gift, I said, hey, thank you very much. And next day, or maybe a year, why next day? A year later, when I meet you, you ask me the question, that box I gave you, that copper box for the flower vase I gave you, where have you kept it in your house? Actually, I gave it to my friend. Huh? You gave it away? It's next day itself I gave. Because I don't have a place in my home. You feel very bad, isn't it? I gave it to you and you gave it to somebody else. You gave it to me, right? You lost your ownership on that. Then what I do with that? What is your problem? But even as you physically give it to me, mentally you didn't give it. If you have given up mentally, then you don't need to worry about what I do with that. That is why even you do the puja here, Tera tujko arpan kya lage mera. The plate mera hai. You just don't give up. Because every time you say the same thing, Bhagavan wonders, only once you have to say, why are you saying every time? If you say Tera tujko arpan, then why are you saying again and again? Mera arpan kiya hai na? So it is the mental association that is called bondage. That's why Upanishad says, Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause for bondage, and freedom. When the possessiveness is continuously there in the mind, even when you physically give up, you are not free. You are not free even you physically give up. What are you people searching for? You have your own room, no? Where you have to go? He's looking for the parents, I think. Parents are not looking for them. Anyway. So, mind, if it is not given up, even if you physically give away, it is still bound. So, physical giving up alone is not sufficient. Therefore, Bhagavan says, Nyeyasa nitya sannyasi yauna dveti na kankshati. He who has no more attachment to things nor hatred. Hatred is also equal bondage. One may say that I have no possessiveness, but I hate this world. That is equally a bondage. Then you are not a sannyasi. A sannyasin cannot afford to hate anyone. The hate is also another form of attachment. I cannot hate something without attachment to something else. Think. You said this to me, so I hate you for that. That means your idea about yourself is not accepted by somebody, therefore you hate that person. If you are walking in the road, nobody else is there, let us say, and I call out, hey idiot, come here. And if you respond, then I don't need to tell you who you are. How dare you call me idiot? Oh, you are the one? I didn't know, I just called out and you have responded. What can I do for that? So my notion about myself, my idea about myself, when it is not accepted by others, I hate this. So all these are all none other than the play of the ego. The ego's nature is identification, and it identifies with many things, not only physical things, an idea, an opinion, a belief, a religion, a language, or country, or philosophy, or people, objects, experiences. That its scope is so vast. And it doesn't remain in one thing for a long time. It keeps on shifting. It depends upon where it is. You are sitting here, but your mind's attention is on the new shoe you bought today. I kept it in the right place where nobody can see it. I hope when I go back it is still there. Or the car that you have parked. Ahankar. This aham is attached to that car. So, therefore, who is a nitya sannyasi? One who has overcome or falsified this ahankar. He stops identifying. He, if at all, identifies with anything, it is only for transactional purpose. As a man, as a woman, as so and so, because he has to operate in this world. And for that purpose, he may probably seem to be identified, but in his own nature, he says, I am not any of this. Therefore, when you are not identified with anything, you cannot be hurt. Nobody can touch you. We are very touchy because our identification is also strong in so many things. Anybody touches, immediately we get disturbed. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says, such a person works in the world, but not attached to anything. Such a sannyasi is not necessarily namke vaste, he is wearing a dress or change the name. No. In his mind, he has given up the notions of likes and dislikes, and he works in this world nirdvandvo hi mahabaho, with no duality. Nirdvandvaha. Neither good nor bad, neither what he likes, what is liked by others, nor what is detested by others. Because this world is of the nature of duality only. In working with this duality, duality means pairs of opposites, I mean. Day is there, night is there. Joy is there, sorrow is there. Birth is there, death is there. Dinayaminyau sayam pratah shishiravasanto punarayatah. Isn't it? Night and day, morning and evening, winter and summer, continuously happens. You cannot stop it. So also likes and dislikes will be there with respect to the world, which world will project. These are the things are good, these are the things bad. A person who is seeking the highest, which is absolute, even as he encounters things which are considered to be good or considered to be bad, he remains untouched. Transactionally, he will respond. But with himself, has no agitation over anything that changes. Again and again, Krishna will point out this. Therefore, his attitude is samatva, sameness, equanimity. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. And therefore, sukham, sukhena, bandhat pramuchyate. He becomes free from all dualities effortlessly. Effort is not there because there is no attachment to things, and that is the reason why there is effortlessness. If he is stuck with one thing, to give up is very difficult. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. But very easily comes out of the bondage. Bondage being mental hang-ups, possessiveness, identification, ego. And such a person works in the world, not that he is in isolation. Our own Gurudev, he worked shoulder to shoulder with every one of us, every one of the people whom he worked with, and showed the way to work. Happily, joyfully, ever giggling. Because nothing is going to be permanent. So why are you worried about it? Do the best, leave the rest. But you must do the best. Whatever you are doing, do efficiently, very well. But as soon as the work is over, move. I myself have seen many occasions where we will wait for Gurudev to come, because he would constantly move. And he would come, and he will come like a wind. He'll come there, and then everybody is so excited about the program, morning till evening, everything will go on. And the day he would leave, obviously we would all be so sad that he would be leaving. Next morning when he was about to leave, he would get into the car, bye-bye, and that's it. He will not even look behind. Done. What I need to do, I did. Finished. Over. Next. Let's see tomorrow, next year. like Krishna did to Gopikas. Sukham bandhat pramuchyate. He will move around like Vasantapat loka hitam charantah. Mahatmas are like those, the season called spring, where it brings about flowers and beauty everywhere. So too the Mahatmas who are serving the world with no attachment and efficiently and joyfully, they bring about great joy everywhere. So the next verse, Bhagavan Krishna says, how such a person would work in this world. Brahmanyadaya karmani Sangam tyaktva karoti yaha Lipyate sa papena Padma patramivambasa Papena na lipyate saha. He is not touched by any impurity, sin. He works in this world but cannot be touched by any impurity. Karmani brahmani adaya karodiyah. Because even as he works in this world, his mind is on Brahman, the Absolute. Adhaya, having placed his mind, having surrendered his action to that very nature of oneself, Brahmani adaya, karmani, actions. And the indication of how that is given to only Brahman, Sangam tyaktva. Karma phala asangam tyaktva, karma sangamapi tyaktva. Attachment not anymore on the result, as well as that I need to do this, I have to do this. See, if either we get attached to the result or we get attached to the action itself. If you have a volunteer who is taking care of the bookshop, not you, but in general, and suddenly you say, I think you don't need to do, you do something else. How dare? I'm a volunteer for this bookshop for so many years and you are taking me away. That means you are attached to the work. Even the work is not attached. Because his idea of the work is what? Anywhere I am asked to do things, I do it with the same spirit of joy. Whether it is taking a broom and cleaning this place, or sitting in the bookshop and doing that work, or something else. It is not the work that is important, but how do I do it? How I do it? Because the very purpose of that work is to purify the mind. Doesn't matter what work it is. So, karmani sangam tyaktva brahmani adaya yaha karoti. He who does the work with no attachment to the work or the result and offering it to that absolute Brahman, brahmani adaya. Lipyate nasa papena. Such a person cannot be touched by any papa. Papa here means any impurity that arises from the work, or any impurity that people would put on that person. Bhagavan Krishna, at the end of the Mahabharata war, when having won all the Kauravas and Pandavas were standing there, Dhritarashtra was there, Gandhari was also there, Vyasa was there, Krishna was also standing there. Gandhari was, of course, extremely agitated because she lost all her sons, hundreds, including Duryodhana. And she was fuming, crying, agitated. And she said, Krishna, are you here? Because she had blindfolded herself. Yes. You know what you did. You have strategically killed all my sons. You destroyed the entire clan. Not a single one is left behind. I curse you. Same thing will happen to your family. And it happened. Krishna's clan was completely vanquished. And Krishna did not say anything. He was just watching. And she was so powerfully, she was giving the curse. At that moment, once she pronounced the curse, all right. Vyasa interfered there. Gandhari, please, 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 hold back. Why should I hold back? He is the one who is responsible for the whole thing. So Vyasa tells Gandhari, do you know, all those people in this war, the people who died, all of them are none other than Krishna himself. Who got killed? Who was defeated? Krishna. Who won? Krishna. As far as he is concerned, there is nothing called win or lose, loss. He himself is everyone. Everything. See, if I take money from this pocket and put to this pocket, did I gain anything? Yes. Did I lose anything? Nothing. Krishna is that, which is both sides, evenly. So your curse may work, and it doesn't touch him. And that's why Krishna was smiling. Yes, you know it. So this is there in our Upanishad Ganga, if you go and watch. It's the 3rd or 4th episode, I don't remember. So, such a person who has gained this maturity and he has surrendered everything to Brahman, he will not be touched by a single sin. Whatever he does. From the world standpoint, it may look like something very bad or heinous crime, but as far as he is concerned, this is to establish dharma, and I did what is to be done, and whatever be the consequence, let it be. It was not going to touch me. Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sapapena. And it is the example that is given is what? Like the water drop on a lotus leaf. Padma patram iva ambasa. Ambasa padma patram na lipyate. The water cannot moist that leaf of a lotus. You might have seen. The lotus actually grows only in water. It grows in the water, stays in the water, but water cannot touch it. So interesting. In the same way, Mahatmas are in the same world where you and I live. They grow here, they live here, they work here, but they will never allow the world to touch them. Not that they run away. The running away means you are weak. Staying there in the very world where you and I are living, but they remain living here joyfully doing their work, but nothing will touch them. They will not stop doing also. The same lotus, water on the lotus leaf, Shankaracharya uses in some other place also to show how uncertain is life, is it not? In Bhaja Govindam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tatvajivitam adishaya chapanam. So I am saying in a very different musical note. It is actually a rap song. Nalini talagada jalamati taralam. See how the first rap song was written by Shankaracharya. Because the beat you see, it is like if you put a lotus leaf and then put a water, how it moves. If you move like this, it will never stick. It will just move there. In the same way, Nalini talagada jalamati taralam. If you look at the rap person, in the same way, life is so uncertain. That's what he was trying to say in that. So he uses the same example for a different purpose. But here he says, Krishna says that a man of such knowledge will work in this world with no attachment to what he does. At the same time, he continues to do. And whatever be the consequence of those actions, will not touch him. Now one may wonder how this logic works. It is the ego that expresses itself as karta eva bhokta. Karta eva bhokta. The doer alone is the recipient of the result, not the non-doer. Now, let me give you an example. In your dream, you are walking and running when you learned that a lion is chasing you. You're walking in the forest and suddenly you realize there's a lion that is chasing. And you start running and running and running and running and running and running. And then as you ran, suddenly you fell into the open well. It's full of water. You got up, wet. Your wife is standing next to you with a handful of water. Get up. So that lion of the dream, okay, no, not that, sorry, I have to backtrack that. So when you fell into the well, you got hurt, let us say. But when you wake up, you are fine. Nothing has happened. Of course, you woke up. So what you did in the state of dream and whatever you experienced there, joy or sorrow, gain or loss, physically you got hurt in the dream, but when you wake up, none of the gains or losses, none of the pains and the pleasures that you gained in the dream has any effect on you. Right? Yes or no? So long as you are there in the state of dream as a doer, you will be the enjoyer there. But on you, when you wake up and you recognize that you are not the doer, the gain also is lost. It is the ego that has the notion that I am the doer, is this ego that is going to experience the result thereof. While working itself, he renounces the ego, the doership. Therefore, good or bad, na papena na punyena lipyate. It has to be understood that way. And he says, nata lipyate, nipyate, nasa papena, within bracket, punyena api. Even the punya of that action of that person will also not touch him. Interestingly, in Tattvabodha, if you read, it is said that a Mahatma, when he does actions, he is not going to receive the result, whether it is papa or punya. Then any karma done by anybody must have a result. And if that result, which is punya or papa, good or bad, a meritorious or a demerit, where does the result go? So those who worship the Mahatma, to them the merits will go. And those who disrespect such as Mahatma, the result of Papa will go to them. That is the reason why in our tradition, the souls or the saints who are of such a noble nature is always respected. Because if you want the result of that man's goodness, you should do that. If you don't do anything else, but disrespect if you do. If at all any result which are bad comes out of that person's action, that will come to you. Be careful. Anyway, I'm just cautioning you. It is there in Tattva, if you go and read towards the end of it. Lipyadena sa papena patma patramiva ambasa. Ambasa, like the water, by the water, patma patram na lipyate. It is not affected at all. So too, one who has renounced this notion of I am the doer, when he engages in the action, that result of that action does not reach him at all. In the case of all of us, when we have done any action with an idea, I am the doer, you cannot escape the result. Whether you remember or not. It is said in Mahabharata, a very beautiful statement. Yada denu sahasreshu vatso vindhati mataram tata purvakritam karma kartaram anugacchati. The beautiful example is given there. Just like in a large area there are many, many cows. So many cows are there. And one calf you release into that crowd, that calf will find exactly who the mother is. For us, all cows will look alike, right? If you go to Chinatown, or an Asian comes to India, Little India, all of them look same. But not all of them look same. Just like the calf can find yata vatsaha mataram vindati. Just like the calf can identify the mother. Then sahasreshu, even thousands of cows are there, it will find. Tata, in the same way, purvakritam karma. Whatever action you did in the past, kartaram anugacchati, will go only to that person. You cannot escape that. I always tell that our karma, purvakritam karma means whatever you have done in the past are like the luggage that you carry and put it in the check-in luggage. It will come to you only. Because your name is written, address is written. And even by mistake you take somebody else's luggage, the airline makes sure that you get your luggage for sure. That's why whenever I stand there, I usually do not check in my luggage, but let us say, if I go and stand there, all of them are waiting for their prarabdha karma to come. My prarabdha has not yet come. Is they coming or not? When you get your prarabdha karma, yes, take it, put it. So, na lipyate papena punyena va. Neither the merits of the action nor the demerits of the action will touch him, for while working he is like the water. He is there in the world but not of the world, Gurudev would say. He is in the world, not of the world. He is working like anybody else, but not the way we do. In his mind, he has detached. In his mind, there is no anxiety. In his mind, there is no attachment to result or the idea that I am the doer. Ishvara arpitam karmana ichchaya kritam chitta shotakam mukti sadakam. He does the action fully aware of, I'm doing it to purify my mind. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. With the mind, with the body, with the speech, with all the equipment senses, a yogi does this action not for any other thing, but continuously purify himself. And this purifying process cannot be noticed by others at all. Anytime the ego asserts itself as something, so and so I am, nobody recognizes me, shut up. You are nobody here. Constant attention on the habitual tendency of the ego. And internally he is watching that. That is why it is said contemplative masters are extremely quiet because they are watching themselves. Jnani no nitya vairina. Bhagavan Krishna says, Jnanis are those who are aware of the inner enemy. We have taken the inner enemy as a friend. That is our problem. Ego is my friend. That is the highest, the most dreadful enemy of yours. So, they are continuously aware of this so-called inner companion who is constantly keeping you under bondage. But a yogi does all the action to make sure that this assertion of the ego is watched. And with the knowledge of oneself as the higher self, he is able to discard the ego as false. See, unless one has the knowledge of the higher nature, you cannot discard this ego because that is your identity. Who are you? If somebody asks you, what do you say? I am so-and-so, son of or daughter of so-and-so. I belong to this country or this religion or this region. I studied here. I completed my study here and I'm working. This is our constantly, this is what we consider ourselves as, right? If you ask a person who's studying that, who are you? Brahman. Actually, that is true. All other things are what is asserted by the ego. As I said, you didn't come with that. You have gathered it on the way. So that false nature of oneself, one who is aware of it and it is continuously asserting, he is watchful of that. Therefore, even as he is working in this world, he is unaffected. Napilipyate papena. An interesting thing is, not only he looks at himself, which is pure, immaculate presence, not identifying with the physical form, whether male, female or anything, man or human or even otherwise. Good, bad, right? And that also is a mere label. Here the next verse he says, he will interact with the world in the same way, not labeling people according to their physical appearance or qualification or what they are. No, none of those things matter to him. So he says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Saiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha Samadarshinaha Panditaha. The man of wisdom is the one who has man of equanimity. Whoever he encounters, whatever he sees, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. Whether he meets with a scholar, a Brahmana who has studied Vedas and filled with Vidya, the knowledge, and Vinaya, humility. Humility is an expression of knowledge. That knowledge which has given him the understanding that whatever I know is also so limited only. The more you know, you realize, more you don't know. In our case, what happened, even little we know, and we think that so much we know. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. When he meets with a man of knowledge, of great understanding and wisdom, in him, Gavi in a cow, Hastini in an elephant, Shuni in a dog, Swapaka, even those who are eating the dog meat, in all of them, he has the equal vision. This equanimity is born out of knowledge of that which is equal in all, same in all. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Bhagavan Krishna says, I am same in all. I am not different from person to person. Samavastitam Ishwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. Krishna says, he the one who is able to see the presence of one in the midst of those which are subject to destruction, remaining itself indestructible. He is a person who is really seeing it. So a man of wisdom who has been working in this world with no attachment to either the doership or the enjoyership, remains not only unaffected by the results of action, in dealing with the people, he will not discriminate based upon appearance, lifestyle, or qualification. When you go in front of a Mahatma, he doesn't care who you are, or what you do, and how much you own. Nothing. You are Brahman. I'll deal you at that level. And such a person who has that vision, because he nothing to gain from that person, nothing to go, because he doesn't want anything from the world. No special treatment for anybody. Whether he was a small child or a grown-up person, to him it is both the same. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. See, there is a beautiful occasion in Shankaracharya's life also, which many of you know, who studied. He was in the Kashi Kshetra, Banaras, what do we call it as. And he was walking from Ganges after having taken a holy bath towards the temple. It is a very narrow road. And as he was walking, only one person can go actually. Behind him were his disciples following him. Suddenly he found one person who seemed to be one who has never seen water in his life on the body, never taken a shower, it looks like, dirty, and wearing very soiled clothes, jata, and he also had dogs walking straight in front of him, coming in the opposite direction. Shankaracharya immediately stops. Move, he says. It is like Bernard Shaw also, it is said, once he was in his hometown or in the outskirts, and he was going, and there was a river, and there was a bridge where only one person can go. So he started to walk, and suddenly another person started to come, and both of them met in the middle. Now one has to go back, otherwise they cannot cross. And that person is a great critic of Bernard Shaw. So it so happened, Bernard Shaw requested, can you give me way? I have to go to the other side. So to me, why not you give way? And that person wanted to insult him. I don't give way to the fools. International smile, I do. So here Shankaracharya says, move away. Gaccha, gaccha. So that person looked at him. What has to go from what? Annamayad annamayam. Adava chaitanyameva chaitanya e dvijavara duri kartum vanchasi kim bruhi gaccha gacchevi. You are saying move away. What has to move away from what? Matter cannot move away from matter. Right? The body is made of matter. Even the mind is nothing but matter in a subtle form. Outside there is only matter. Earth is a matter, water is a matter, air is a matter, space is a matter. So matter cannot move. Is it not true? You cannot destroy matter, can you? Yes or no? Can you destroy matter? Matter never gets destroyed. It only transforms it from one condition to another. What you ate becomes matter when it comes out in a different form. That alone is going back to the earth, it comes back again. So this is a cycle continuously going on. So, annamayad annamayam. From matter, matter has to move. If other than matter, what is there? Chaitanyam. And Chaitanyam being all-pervading, where can it go? So, who has to go from what? Listening to that, Shankaracharya says, what is this? I thought that I am a scholar, I have studied, I have this knowledge, and in front of this one, I lost everything because he is asking a fundamental question which I forgot. And I have identified myself with this physical body, thinking that I am coming from the river, having taken the bath, clean I am, pure I am, and I consider him as a person who is coming with all the dirt in the physical body. Perhaps he belongs to lower caste or lower community. With all these prejudices, I have made a statement wrong. He felt so bad. I mean, it is how this is traumatized. Or perhaps he did that only to prove to these disciples that even when you have the highest knowledge, be careful, you may slip. So he immediately prostrates to him. And he fell at his feet. When he raised his head back, there stood Lord Shiva. Be careful. When you are a man of knowledge, never lose attention. Gurudev always said that. Vigilant living. Be aware of the knowledge all the time, because your swabhava, your natural prakriti tendencies gathered over the past many lives, you may fall. You may lose attention. So, here it is said, whether he is meeting a person of knowledge, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, Gavi, Hastini, Shuni, Swapakecha, in all these various different kinds of people having different degrees of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, a man of knowledge does not look at that. He looks at what is common, what is always there, what is same in all. So therefore, while interacting with the world also, he does not differentiate. He will look at all of them as none other than Brahma Swarupa, expressing itself in many ways. And that is the nature of a person of knowledge. So, we have many more to go. But we have to logically conclude here. So this knowledge that we have been gaining from Bhagavad Gita, it is only selected ones. If you look at the Bhagavad Gita as a book of knowledge, every verse that is there can take you to contemplation. Because once you start reflecting on the words of Bhagavan and what he is indicating, your clarity comes. Your perception will change. Your focus on the goal will become more and more intensified. And at the same time, you are recognize that what are those obstacles, impediments that is on the way and how to overcome them. And sadhanas are pointed out, practices. And as a sadhaka, as a practitioner of spirituality, you should do it joyfully. Don't do it, sadhana karna. So I tell the students, when we studied in Sandipani Sadhana, I was teaching there, I told them first day itself, it is not sadhana laya. It's sadhana alaya. Laya means where you stop all the sadhanas. No. It is the very abode of sadhana. So our life becomes very purposeful, useful, joyful only when we take up these practices, especially studying correctly, understanding rightly, and changing our way of looking at things. As I've been emphasizing, there is nothing to do, but at the same time, any doing should be to make your mind pure. Because knowledge is only reminding us what we have forgotten. Jnapakartam jnanam na karakartam. To remind you what we have forgotten, not to do anything. You want to remind yourself as human. What do you need to do for that? For you to remember that you are a human, what you should do? Tell me. Stand upside down. Pranayam. What are you doing? I am remembering myself as human. If you do the pranayama, it's for the physical health, all right. But to know that you are human, to maintain that awareness that you are human, what are you need to do? Shift your attention. Move away from the swabhava. Move away from the habitual way of thinking. And look at yourself clearly with the available knowledge as the immaculate presence. And constant attention on that will change the whole life. So that is what we need to do while studying, reflecting. Thank you for the opportunity you all gave for me to share this knowledge. And while sharing itself, we grow. I grew every time when Gurudev was asked this question once, Swamiji, the same subject every day. 40 years you have been doing it. Are you not bored? Gurudev gave a very, very correct answer, very correct, direct answer. I do not know whether anybody improved because of my talks, but one person I know who really benefited out of this, me. I know how much I improved, he said. From the day I began to talk until today, only that person I'm sure. Anybody else, I'm not sure. So, study and reflection, which is necessary for us to share the knowledge also. It's for our own personal growth. Only we are sharing this with you all. The most beneficiary is me. So thank you for giving that opportunity to do that. So thank you all, and we will meet next time. Keep this paper still with you, or if you have PDF in your phone. No, I'll conclude and then. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkhabhat bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Last month, when Swami Ishwaranandaji visited Chinmaya Mission, LA, we had 1 week-long program, and we released a book. This is a book which has articles which are for us to improve our life upon various aspects of our life, as a parent, as a sadhaka, what to eat and how to eat, how eating prepares you for proper discipline of living. So there are 13 articles on this. This I gave as talks in Los Angeles area in 2019. It is called Orange Juice to Awaken the Soul. Like chicken soup for the orange juice. I'm from Orange County, so orange juice. Otherwise, the acronym of that is called OJAS. Orange Juice to Awaken the Soul. So that's the book here. So which is, you can tell people here, then we will accordingly will send the number of books that are required. But I'm so happy to give to people who has made this program possible. Therefore, first one is to my host, Case and Bhavana. Bhavana and Case. Hariya. Then to our beloved Shiva and Sushma. Then to Raghu and Geeta. Sometimes the orange looks yellowish also. So to Jyoti Chaitanya. Thank you. Hari Om. Now you can.